Hello, everybody. This is Nicholas with Tabletop Shenanigans.
And this is Matthew.
And Felipe.
And today we have a special guest.
A coming back guest.
I haven't died yet.
So, Alex, now that they released The Beast or whatever, or what's the book called?
Saga
of the Beast. You come out of hiding. Where you been?
Yeah, I was, in a hole. I realized I was like, I can't come out until orcs start being a thing again. And, I waited patiently, painting no models at all, looking at gray until I got into a deep depression. And then when I finally saw the light shone,
it was a new Grayskull
model.
Anyways, that model looks really good.
That model is gorgeous. Both of them are.
I don't really have... I've heard a lot of things that they don't like the pose. It's not that bad. It's like whatever. I think it's like... Maybe it's like, what people care about. I don't know. I think the pose is fine. I think the gun's like sick though.
Yeah, dude. What do you think about the new rules?
It's like rocket. I didn't see the new rules.
Are there new rules yet?
I don't know.
Are there new rules for Thraka?
They have not released them yet.
We have rumors of the Ragnar's rules, but we don't know anything about Thraka's rules.
I'm dead.
No, he's not. He's literally getting a new model.
We're dead.
Why do they give a new model to a dead guy?
I'm dead.
That makes zero sense. Ragnar is dead, isn't he? Didn't he get killed by
No.
He says otherwise.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dumb. Is he primarisized?
Yes.
That's why. He did die.
They brought him back, genetically
right.
cloned him to be a primary space marine.
God, that's some thick plot armor right there. If you're a space marine and you die, you have two choices.
That's thicker than Guilliman.
Right? You either become a dreadnought.
I mean, that's their whole thing. Only in death does duty end. If any part of you is still alive, they will use you.
Throw you in a box.
Yeah.
Metal boxes.
Bjorn the Fellhand is the oldest living space marine, living in quotation marks. I mean, he's thousands of years old.
He is undeath.
Or actually, no, he's tens of thousands of years old. He fought alongside Leman Russ. Like, he is super old in lore.
How do they even keep those guys alive?
They put him in dreadnoughts.
I know, but
a lot of juice.
Like, isn't it that every time they turn on, that they go a little more and more crazy or something like that?
No, they just need longer and longer resting periods. Like, to wake him up, it takes such a long time that they actually have to, wake him up and, think about how long it's going to take to wake up the dreadnought. And then after that, they just have to go to sleep for a very long period of time. Hashtag not a lore cast.
Okay. I know sometimes it can be, forced, but when you force it, it can deteriorate their, brain.
Yeah.
I do have to say one thing, though. If your dreadnought doesn't require time to wake up, like maybe a war suit,
it's not a dreadnought.
Oh no!
Think about how much more effective it would be. Like a really, really tactical war suit dreadnought.
That's actually a question I do have. Why don't they just make dreadnoughts that don't require a human coffin?
Why are you thinking? What are you talking?
Because you can't have AI.
But they can still have a pilot. Obviously, because they have Victor war suits, they're basically a dreadnought chassis.
No,
so the reason why you would have both is because you have living Marines that could be inside of war suits, and then you also have almost dead Marines that you could still utilize.
Yeah.
See, I always imagine Space Marines going in Imperial Knights and just wrecking havoc.
The thing, though, is that for the most part, they can.
I'd be okay with that.
For you to end up in a dreadnought, it's got to be so bad that you are basically unfixable. The main chaplain of the space or of the Ultramarines, I think he's 70 to 75% machine parts. He's been torn apart so many times, but he's not so bad that they won't put him in a dreadnought.
Or he refuses to be in a dreadnought.
Something like that. But yeah.
How do you scratch your nose?
Because I know... Huh?
How do you scratch your nose if you're in a dreadnought?
I don't know.
You can't feel it.
You don't got a nose.
Just don't got a nose.
Their consciousness kind of blends in with the machine spirit, and that's kind of why it's hard to sometimes communicate with them and everything.
There's no specifications on how far they got to go to want to be in a dreadnought, but it's more if they're unconscious and everyone else is like, yo, we gotta save our boy.
Yeah.
You're in a dreadnought and you have no say.
By the way, to our listeners, if I get anything wrong, I'm sorry. Warhammer lore is super long and super extensive, and I'm sure I've gotten a million things wrong. Everybody does.
It's also not very accurate.
Yes.
Because it kind of just pings around.
And we're also not a lorecast, so
No, hashtag not a lorecast.
I mean, we could be a secret lorecast.
no.
See what had happened was.
Yeah.
No, what would be horrible is if we were talking about Eldar lore. Good lord.
Oh,
God. No, thank you.
All right, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about the new AdMech book.
Well, we know nothing about it.
We've seen the cover. We've seen the cover of it. It exists. It got spoiled. I don't know where. I saw it though. And it's like Saga of the Machine or something like that. So I'm really excited for it. I don't know if it's true or not, but I saw it on the 40K page. I'm certain I saw it.
You're talking about the Psychic Awakening book?
Yes.
For AdMech?
Yes.
No, that's called something Iron or something like that. And it has the Imperial Knights.
Chaos
Knights. It has
AdMech.
AdMech.
Isn't that the one coming out next?
Yes.
Yeah, AdMech and one Demons.
Well, they gotta tease me.
It has Demons as well because of Forge Fiends.
Good lord, they shoved way too many factions in that one.
Tease me with all this?
Well, two of them are tiny.
Yeah.
I mean, how much can you do with that? But it's called something. I know they released the name. I can't recall it off the top of my head now.
All we have is this picture of a Skitarii.
That's not funny.
On an article. This is from the official Warhammer 40,000 Facebook page.
Because they're going to be in the next book, but that's it.
Listen, I've been waiting for this. 15 years.
What?
I've waited for this.
Oh, yeah.
15 years?
It's a joke.
Okay.
It's a reference.
It's 83 years if you're talking about the Titanic movie.
No, I'm talking about the freaking Harry Potter, Prisoner of Azkaban.
Never heard of it.
Right? It's 15 years, right?
12 years ago!
Okay, so
Whatever.
most likely what we're going to get with Saga of the Beast is that orcs are going to get to make their own, whatchamacallit.
Shooter.
No, like
Clan.
yes. And Space Wolves will probably get something in the assault phase.
Do you think Gazgul can be used in any clan, technically?
I mean, they did that with Shadow Sun, so I think it would make sense.
But that's the thing. If Gazgul can be used in every clan, he is going to be the strongest HQ in Warhammer as of now. Because orcs are only balanced for the reasons that some of the name characters, some of them are only usable in those groups. If I could use Snickrot with no penalty in a what's it called, Goth's clan, I'd always bring Snickrot.
Well, they did that with Shadow Sun. Shadow Sun is usable in every set.
I thought they did that for all the Tau characters.
For
some of them, like Long Strike and stuff like that.
Well, Farsight can be used in any other set except for Farsight set.
I thought they changed it though, so Long Strike can also be in any set, but he doesn't get Shadow Sun,
Shadow Boy.
Shadow Girl,
Shadow Sun, yeah.
Shadow Sun,
Shadow Female.
yeah. She's still considered to be Tau set, so she doesn't get the benefits of whatever other one that she's in because she's still Tau set. Right. So it'd probably be the same way if you did have Gazgul Thraka and his abilities, if they're clan specific to.
He is the prophet of Gork and Mork.
Yeah, but he may be able to be used, but his benefits won't help everybody.
See, and that's fine.
Yeah,
that's okay. I just want that 200-point model to wreak havoc.
Yeah,
that's why I put him out.
I mean, it opens anything it touches for sure.
Ooh, can opener.
Exactly.
Actual can opener.
But we don't know what his stats are. What if he's not a can opener?
He's a can opener before the stats because the
he
old
can take an Imperial Knight by himself.
Yeah, a Gazgul before this could destroy an Imperial Knight in one turn if it got good
he gets
rolls.
what 6 attacks? No, 8.
It was 6 attacks. No,
7.
I think it was
6
5.
attacks base plus 1 for the charge, hitting on 2s, wounding knights on 3.
And he got another one because Goths, and then
he could technically take out a knight on his own.
He could.
He really could.
That's gross.
Because he does 3 flat damage, not 3 D3 damage like other power claws. He's pretty good in combat.
Yeah,
he is.
I think what he should have. I think he should be able to remove invons. Like in melee. What? Like a 1-inch, no one has invon saves.
No, that would never happen.
Because you think the Prophet of Gork and Mork will be stronger than every other Space Marine character.
Well, to be honest, I also think he's
stronger than Rabute
Maticus? I actually do think he should be stronger than Guilliman.
Matt, you have like strength 2 IRL, to be honest.
No, wow. Like he should be the inverse of Guilliman. Guilliman should be less kills you in combat, more buffing everyone around. Thraka should be more kills you in combat, less buffing you around. They should both have huge buffs.
Yeah,
but it should be the influence of what the buffs do.
Daddy's sword,
exactly,
though.
that's what I'm saying. Like if he has that many buffs and he hits that hard, Thraka should hit even harder.
No, he's a prophet. He's a prophet.
Prophet with air quotes. I'm putting air quotes around it. Prophet. That man just smacks people.
Nobody even knows that Gork and Mork actually exist.
They do exist. No, they exist.
The argument is if whether they're 2 or 1, if they're just like same side of each other.
See, it's a controversy. It's a controversy.
Okay, here we go.
There might be a time where, I hate to say it.
Say it.
Choppa's better than Shura's?
No. No.
I hate to say it.
Take it back.
I hate to say it.
Take it back.
I agree with that statement.
I really, but if this Gaskell comes out, and if it's going to happen how I think it's going to happen, them Choppa's going to be can openers too.
I'm not going to lie, though. If you're playing Goffs and you're not playing Choppa Slugga, you're wrong.
Well, what if they had AP1? If Choppa's at AP1?
No. It'd break the game. 90
destroyed.
But no. But they don't get the benefits from having more, the extra attack. Right?
No.
That's the only difference.
No, I'd still take AP1 over an extra attack.
But it's not as impressive because the problem with boys is they fall so easily.
Well, it's like you can't pile in as many boys anyway, so who cares if you get an extra attack? If you get -1 AP, that changes the game.
Not that badly, though.
Yeah.
It pushes Marines from a 3 to a 4.
It's pretty, if you think about it.
Yeah.
It's huge.
That goes from think about
G-Stealers have a natural -1. They're cheaper than boys. They hit harder than boys.
G-Stealers?
G-Stealers, yeah.
They're not cheap.
Yeah,
they're not cheap.
Yeah, but you're restricted. You can only bring so many Gene Stealers.
Mm-hmm.
They're 20 balls for like 100 points.
Well, the difference between Gene Stealers and Orc Boys is Orc Boys have 3 stratagems. No, 4 stratagems around that group that they can do different things with. Gene Stealers only have like 2.
G-Stealers can charge you turn 1.
That's okay. No, that's okay though.
And they have AP1.
It's
and
okay.
They roll a 6. That's AP3.
No, but I'm almost positive Gene Stealers are more expensive than boys. Because boys are only 7 points per model?
Yeah, but for a squad of 30, it's like 150 points.
That's okay though, because it's a troop choice. It's a troop choice, and you only got 2 choices. You got Grots and boys. And I'm pretty sure you're not taking Grots.
I mean, I'm taking.
I like Grots.
You're talking about 240 points for 20 Gene Stealers.
Yeah.
Before you add any extra.
You don't need to add anything to them. They're fine base.
How many points are they per model? 9?
They are 12 points per model.
Yeah, boys are 7.
I think G-Stealers Colts, though, their G-Stealers are pretty good, though. I mean, they have AP1. They're not game changing. They're not game ending.
I agree. But that's the difference between certain armies. Orcs, if you see Gene Stealers and you see Orc Boys, it's like taking 20 Gene Stealers and taking 30 boys. For almost the same price. Almost.
Yeah, true.
Almost.
True.
And an extra 10 wounds, it makes a big difference. And they don't take morale tests until they get to 10 boys.
All right.
That's not true.
That's not true.
They have the same amount of leadership as they have boys. That's why they don't take leadership tests.
But if they lose 15 boys, even if they have morale 15.
Yeah.
No, but they have that leadership.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you lose 15 boys,
your leadership is not 15.
Your leadership is 15, then you roll a D6 and you lose
D6.
up to D6.
But that's okay though, because you had 30 models.
Yeah.
It's better than G-Stealer Colts.
Yeah, but Gene Stealer Colts will auto pass around.
Sometimes. It depends too. It depends on how hard you go on that first turn charge.
No, because Synapse, they'll be fine.
Like Synapse is 12 inches though, right?
It's 18.
It's like, I think on the Stormlord it's 24 inches.
Yeah,
it's
huge.
Well, that's the thing. If you're thinking of it like that, then you're also trying to like get the Synapse, then you're not piling in good enough, and then now you're not getting as many attacks.
No, that's not true, because Synapse is the unit. And the unit has to be within 24 inches, not the...
And also, that gimmick for Gene Stealers only works on one group of Gene Stealers.
No, you can actually do it with 2.
Well, even if you can do it 2, it's a 1-turn gimmick. Boys, it's all you can use all game. You can get an extra 30 point more boys when they die.
Yeah.
You can weird boy jump them across the map for versatility.
You can command them every turn though. So that's 4 squads for 2 turns.
Yeah, but it's versatility.
Well, you would never bring 4 squad to Gene Stealer.
It's versatility over.
That's way too many.
You're talking about
points.
720 points for 3 squads of 20 Gene Stealers.
Yeah, I would never.
No.
Plus,
It's too many
in
models
order to make
involved,
it
too.
work, you're also having to bring the Swarm Lord another 250 points. That's literally half your army is tied up in Gene Stealers and the Swarm.
And what if you take your Gene Stealer Colts first, 2 groups of Gene Stealers to get in, but then you screen them so you position them badly so the Swarm Lord can't get into combat.
Think about how many lists you've seen that bring like 4 or 5 groups of boys, and then think about how many lists of Tyranids you see where they actually bring 4 or 5 things. Gene Stealers.
Right.
I have never seen more than 1 or 2 blobs of Gene Stealers.
I've never seen more than 40.
60 is the correct number.
Yeah.
It's
That's still
exactly
3
3
squads.
squads. Yeah,
I haven't seen more than 40. I'm being
I've been like
honest.
200.
yeah.
Every
Most
time.
I see a lot of people. A lot of people will bring 60. Because you have the first 2 that hit turn 1, the second one brings up. You can't really shoot at the second one until you deal with the first, you can't shoot at the third one until you deal with the first 2.
Right.
But there's ways to get around them. I mean, even talking about Space Wolves, you just position your
Armor Rust.
your armor or rust close enough that you get a fight first, and it
Oh my
greatly
God.
reduces the Gene Stealer.
I did
threat.
that once and it felt so great. Just a blob of 20 Gene Stealers, poof, gone against like 10
right?
Primaris.
I think it's also psychological because when you think about 12 points for a Gene Stealer, you're not thinking, you're like, oh, that's not that bad. And then after you get like 20, you're like, ooh.
So
And it's like same thing with the boys. Like boys are 7 points. And you're like, that's super point effective for strength 4, toughness 4,
hitting on 3s,
hitting on 3s.
Yep.
6s explode.
6,
Yep.
yeah, it's like get another shot. It's like, you don't even care at that point. You're like, okay.
So the thing, I mean, that's another big thing. I think, like, when you look across the table and you see 60 Gene Stealers, if I kill 40 Gene Stealers, I'm like, well, shoot, man, this game's in the bag. If I kill 40 boys, I'm like, well, shoot, I have another 80.
How many wounds do you have to get?
I have another 80 I have to shoot through, not 20. And I mean, they're like, as far as stat wise, obviously, Gene Stealers can have hitting on 2s with 4 attacks each. I mean, and then on 4s, they're on 6s the wound. They're AP -4. They're big time. I mean, they're not scary. It's not that they're not scary. The difference is just the weight.
Yeah.
Like, the weight of 120 boys really sinks in on you when the first squad of 30 jumps to 9 inches away.
And reroll failed charges.
Yeah,
So they're
reroll and failed
they're not
charges,
gonna fail
yeah.
this.
I
Brought
think
shields,
their choppers
too.
need AP.
I don't think that their choppers need anything done. I don't think.
You're crazy.
You know, first of all, I can already tell you right now, they're not going to change the boy. The boy won't change at all.
Gazgul's just going to get an extreme. He's either going to be toughness 8 with 1 more wound,
He's going to get a extreme makeover home edition.
and then they're going to nerf him a month later and be
The
like,
home is the
they're
galaxy.
going to be like, oh, we made him too strong, so we're going to nerf him.
Yeah.
I hope so.
He's
I
gonna-
hope he costs 10 points.
He's probably going to have what Abaddon has, reduced damage by 1, half it or something, half damage taken to him. I think that's actually
That's not as good because he only has like what, 8 wounds.
that's pretty.
That's good.
for a melee character.
Gazgul, currently, Tiny Gazgul probably had 8 wounds.
He
You're talking
does.
about a Redemptor-sized model. He's going to be more than
Is he
10
that
wounds.
big?
Yes.
See,
He's
well, that's-
huge.
Okay, that's the thing. I think he's, in my opinion, I thought he should be like 14 points. Because if he's a
14
big,
Yeah.
14, my bad.
points.
Yeah, 14 wounds. It's like he's a big orc.
Yeah.
He's not a small orc. When they make him that model size, I'm like, he's bigger than Guilliman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he should be stronger than
Guilliman's at his size is 9 wounds. Nothing the size of a Redemptor Dreadnought has ever had less than 10 wounds.
Yeah. The only thing that has like obscene amount of wounds for the size is the Achilles Ridge Runner. That thing has 8 wounds. That should have 5 wounds at most.
The Ridge
that
Runner's
small thing?
huge.
The Ridge Runner is not huge.
It's pretty big.
The Ridge Runner is smaller than a Chimera.
Well, look at the Taurox Prime. That tiny little thing has 10 wounds.
It's smaller than that.
Yeah. No. The Ridge Runner is not
yes,
small.
the Ridge Runner is smaller than a Taurox
Okay.
Prime.
I have never seen. Are you thinking of the Doom, the buggy, like the
No, not the
quad?
no. That's the Achilles Wolf Runner.
Yeah.
The
We'll bust them out here in a bit
the
and
Achilles
measure them
Ridge
out.
Runner is 8 wounds, and that thing is not big. It is like is not small. It's smaller than a truck. It's smaller than a rhino. It's smaller than a chimera. And that's fine, but like 8 wounds?
Dreadnoughts are pretty small and they have 8 wounds.
Well, I think that's why everyone plays them and they take them heavy, what's it called, mining lasers. Yeah. It's like, why wouldn't you? They're only like 70 points for 3 last cannon shots.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. New Graspel looks pretty good.
I like it a lot.
Look at him right now. He's pretty cool.
He does look really cool.
Mm-hmm. He's a big model, so he needs to be at least 14 points.
I would buy him.
14 wounds.
I would buy him just to have
Keep saying it.
I would just buy him for a centerpiece of an army. He just looks that cool.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's the shadow.
He's definitely gonna at least. Even if people that don't play orcs are gonna be buying him just to paint him and have it.
He's a gorgeous model. Yeah.
I'm gonna paint him and make him a different orc.
I have seen a lot of backlash though. People are saying like, "Oh my,
dumb."
Well, no, they're just saying that. Oh my goodness, why did they just make a regular orc size orc? They didn't Primaris size him. They just gave him a war suit. And people are complaining because his model looks small. But if you look at his head, like in the picture where it shows the Primaris Space Wolf, and then it shows him, his head is massive. Yeah. Like his head inside the war suit is massive.
The model just looks small.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to look small compared to the model, but his head is like twice as big as the Primaris human's head or the Primaris Space Marine's head. I mean, he's got a freaking massive...
Yeah, he does.
He's definitely...
But people are complaining that they're like, we just want a giant Primaris-sized Gazgul.
That's the meme, though. That's the way everyone's been waiting for.
People who
are
say that are like people who say that aren't even orc players. Yeah. You know, because I'm okay with him like that. I just wish he was bigger. Not the war suit was big and bulky, but I like both. What? I like both sides.
That's what people are saying.
No. But they're thinking more like they don't want the big war suit. They just want Gazgul. And they want him outside the war suit, but like with metal parts, not him in a war suit.
The problem is the identifying trait of Graskul is the suit.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like
crazy.
Yeah. And
does he have any kind of scar on his head for whenever he bashed his head?
Yeah.
He's got a whole metal cap on.
This one looks great. Look at those cannons. Look at that power claw. That power claw literally is ridiculous. Look how big it is.
It kind of reminds me of...
is as big as a Primaris.
Did I save it?
Yeah.
I saved it. Here, I'm going to show you a picture that I saw. It made me die because I just what I was thinking. I'm going to pass it around.
I freaking love it.
I was crying.
Is this something that we show and tell?
Yeah.
No. Hey, Phoenix, if you get the chance, put it up on like the YouTube channel.
Yeah. So essentially, it's like if you're looking at the model, you're listening to us, you probably have already Googled it because we're talking about it so much. You're looking at this model. So his cannon arm, imagine like a big box on top of it, full of tennis balls, and then he's just shooting tennis balls. And then they gave is the Blackmane, right? Blackmane. They gave him a tennis racket. Yeah, so he's like, he looks like he's doing a serve too, like the way he's posed. He's like,
no worries, I've already sent it to Phoenix. Phoenix will get it, and you know.
Yeah, he's like serving. He's ready. He's getting ready for
justice.
Yeah, he's getting ready for his tennis championship.
Can you talk about the real model though? The real star of the day.
Who's that?
Makari.
Oh no.
Was it 2-up invuln?
That man's gonna stab you.
2-up invuln.
You're literally gonna have Gazgul walk in, and everyone's like, Gazgul's coming in. He's gonna come in from the back and stab you. Do like 6 more wounds.
What's his weapon called? The Lucky Stick or something like that?
The Lucky. No. It's like Lucky Stick's another weapon.
Yeah, that's a relic.
All I know is it does mortal wounds, and he has a 2-up invuln.
Yeah.
That's really toxic.
He's got like 4 wounds too.
He just has 2 attacks. He's only strength 2.
Hey,
but all he has to do is hit.
You're cheesing anyway.
Yeah.
And if you're in Goths, you get another attack.
Yeah.
You know what's toxic?
Plus on 6s, additional attacks.
Whoa!
It's like that SpongeBob meme, the one where they're in they're doing the Olympic Games, and that big fat guy is carrying Patra on his back. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. He's carrying Makari on his back.
Well, Matt, you know how hot I roll with those orc dice.
Yeah.
You see how hot Matt
I'm gonna be winning every game.
No.
Matt rolls really hot.
What are you talking about rolling hot with orc? It's just quantity of rolls. You're gonna get lucky eventually. It's just like, hey guys, watch me roll these 60 die. Oh, look, I got lucky.
But you have to understand how lucky I am.
I
with
roll
orcs.
the opposite though. I roll like, oh, it's okay. I have a 3-up save and I have 20 dice. I'm gonna make well over half these.
Boom.
Yep, there's not 1 3 in there. That's 20 1s and 2s. That's the kind of rolling I do.
Oh man.
Yeah,
That's okay.
just-
Matt's really unlucky.
I am very, very unlucky.
I killed Guilliman with a castle and melted gunshot.
Oh my god, this story.
In Overwatch.
Yeah.
Gun someone down. It's okay. I did that to Tanner too. I did a new strategy with Black Templars. I don't remember if I told you. Where you take the veterans, because the veterans take mortal wounds for the characters, but then they have a 5-up feel no pain, the mortal wounds, so then they have a 1 in 3 chance to just live. So then you take no damage. And then the Cenobite servitors are near, it's a 4-up feel no pain. So then they get a 50-50 chance of just not dying.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, and then they all have melted guns and storm shields.
Nice.
That
And
is
then you
pretty
just
gross.
bring them up the board with your Helbrecht, Grismaldus, the exploding hits on 6s with melted gun storm shields. You run them down the board. That's like 300 points right there. No, 450 points about, with a huge bubble of that can just take free shots for you. Melted guns, they charge you. You got like 4 melted guns shooting at you. You're gonna run. Are you gonna charge into 4 melted guns?
Yeah.
Would you? Would you?
100%, yes.
Would you? Would you really?
What are the chances of you hitting any of them? Maybe 1.
Have you
Depending
played
on how
against
many
me?
melted guns.
Have you played against me in Overwatch?
It's not that bad.
Every single time I roll a melted gun, ever, I never miss Overwatch.
Roll it right now.
Oh my god. Okay. So I gotta actually.
I've never missed a melted gun shot.
All right, hold on.
I've got a question for actual Alex. So we'll go back to the great nerfing of the Iron Hands last week. So you were talking actually earlier about how that affected Iron Hands. Boo-hoo, too bad, so sad.
Woohoo, too bad.
So sad. How did that affect Dark Angels? Because I know very little about Dark Angel rules.
Man, that was the worst thing they could have done. Because instead of them being smart and deciding if they really wanted to nerf Iron Hands, if Iron Hands are such a big problem, make them spend more CP. The big problem with Iron Hands that I've noticed was that they had to use a lot of CP, and if you make them use even more CP, they have to decide whether to bring more troops choices to differentiate their army a little bit more, so then take less vehicles, take more troops to get more CP, or they had to be stuck in what they're doing and hope. Well, not hope. They do well anyway. The first 2 rounds, they just gun you down. But so I was thinking, if you make it to where they spend more CP earlier on in the game, then they can't devastate you later on. So if they spend as much CP the first turn as they would for 2 turns, then on that second turn, they don't come at you as bad. So then the army wouldn't be as good. But what they did is forcing every doctrine to just go. And by forcing every doctrine, you ruined an army that just got a buff that everyone was hoping for. Like, everyone who plays Dark Angels does not play Dark Angels because it's a good army. They want to play Dark Angels. And now I was like looking at the Dark Angels changes, and I was like, man, finally, they gave something that helps the entire army. Not something that just helps one small part of the army, helps the entire army. There's a good build set, there's good lists, there's good fun things you could do with it. So you got all 3 things. I would say it could be pretty competitive if you made the list decently enough. But then they made that change, and now you threw it away. You just threw everything into the gutter.
So what exactly is it gutting out of, like, the big list making? What is the...
So the entire army Dark Angels has is heavy and rapid fire.
Mm-hmm.
They don't use any assault. Everything is heavy and rapid fire.
Yeah.
Devastator mode. When they're in Devastator Doctrine, they add 6 inches to heavy and rapid fire weapons. 6 inches. And now you have to think about this. 6 inches doesn't seem like a lot, but with plasma guns, 6 inches, that doubles the threat range.
Yeah.
Basically, because they have such a high movement. So now all of their black talons, sure, it doesn't help the Black Knights, because all the Black Knights have assault. What's it called? They're called like plasma talons. Yeah, they're assault plasma guns, which is fine because that wasn't the reason.
Yeah.
The reason is if you wanted to run like a certain build path, like I know that a lieutenant and a land speeder, you can give it a relic, give it a 42-inch assault cannon, the twin assault cannons, 42 inches. Move and shoot without penalty. hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s to wound.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
For 130 points.
And it's a lieutenant, yeah.
And a lieutenant. So you can move with your biker army, and so now you have a moving fortress of Black Knights shooting their assault plasma guns, 2 plasma gun shots each, rerolling 1s to wound, and then it also gives everything around them moving, shooting without penalty.
Yeah.
So they can assault, they can advance, get a 4 invuln because they advanced, and get no penalty to shooting their plasma guns.
Yeah.
And then the lieutenant is gunning you down with assault cannon, a twin assault cannon, rerolling, hitting on 2s and rerolling 1s on wounds.
Yeah.
Which is a really good strategy. And that's only like 600 points. No, not even 600 points. That's like 350, 450 points.
Yeah.
So that's just one part of the strategy. That doesn't include like your named character who's like insane.
But
He's
now
crazy.
you can only do that for 1 turn.
But now you can only do that for 1 turn.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily that they made Space Marines unplayable. GW made Space Marines unplayable. It's that you made it so it's like, okay, so now I have to figure out how can I win in 1 turn. Or if I'm Ultramarines, if I'm Iron Hands, how can I win this game
first
in
turn.
1 turn? Yeah.
The first turn.
It's not necessarily I can't play it. I just have to figure out, so I have 1 turn to beat my opponent before I'm average again.
Besides Thunderfire cannons, does Space Marine have access to anything that doesn't require line of sight?
Yes.
We have a lot.
Yeah.
We talked about this last time.
Thunderfire, you have Thunderfire cannons, the Rapier,
Assault.
a Rapier, whatever.
Assault battery.
It's essentially, it's a Thunderfire
Rapier
cannon.
assault battery.
Forge World. It does the same exact stat line, except for it's AP -1 and it costs less.
Okay.
Or no, it's AP -0 and it costs less. And at half range, it has 4 melt-a-gun shots.
Nice. Nice.
That's the second option. So you can bring 3 of each. And then you can bring Whirlwinds.
Not bad. They're not bad either.
And then you can bring...
They're better now. They used to be mad.
And then you can bring the Relic Scorpius Whirlwind thing. So, I mean, you could have 12 units with indirect fire.
Okay.
And some of the top lists were using 3 of the Relic Scorpions, 3 Thunderfire cannons, and some Rapiers. And
But I
then
don't want to play
troops.
that list. That list is boring.
And it's also so expensive putting in so many Forge Roll units.
And that's fine though.
Yeah.
Like if you're making an army like that, that's super cheese. And if you're making it to be cheese, I agree that the army that you're making armies for cheese to like boost how well you play, it's not a way you should be playing the game. I agree. But then when you
Depends on how you're playing. It
Sure.
depends on what format. If you're going to ITC events, then cheese it up.
well, sure.
As cheesy as you
but
want.
I'm saying in general,
Like if
I
you're
don't
playing
think
for fun and you bring that list, I'm gonna just like throw my dice at you the whole time. Stop.
I'm gonna roll 3 dice.
Try to bounce them off your forehead.
I guess my guess is that they probably thought it's just like, let's make it to where every doctrine can be used for 2 turns. So, but then they were like, that's still broken. They can still win in 2 turns. There's too many.
Not if you're
subjects.
smart.
It was only Iron Hands though. Like
Only
it was,
Iron
it was
Hands could
only
win.
it was only Iron Hands. No other Space Marine army there's any problems with their doctrines. They were good, but I have not heard any complaints about anyone. I bet
Ultramarines are still good.
Yeah,
Ultramarines are
good,
still
but
very
I
good.
don't
No, that's the
think there's-
problem.
I think they're-
Ultramarines always get passed up. They were never bad. People have been playing Ultramarines since the beginning of 8th Ed.
Iron Fists are still, Iron Fists.
So
Imperial Fists are all freaking the yellow guys. The yellow guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chase.
Imperial Fist, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so Ultramarines were still good since the beginning of 8th edition because they had Guilliman, reroll, and all failed wounds. And you could do so much with that. With Predators and using Kill Shot, reroll and all failed hits, all failed wounds.
That's the problem, right? Like, Ultramarines have been competitive since the beginning of 8.
Yeah, but then they nerfed Guilliman, and then they became less competitive. I mean, they were still okay, but only rerolling 1s to wound is obviously not as good as rerolling all failed wounds.
But he also got a points drop, and they justified it.
Okay, I understand. I'm just saying it got less competitive at that point, and then new rule set comes out, more competitive.
I don't think that they got worse. I just think people cried about it, and then they didn't play as much. I think that was the reason it got less competitive, per se.
I mean, I can tell you right away. I mean, I was playing Ultramarines tanks with just bringing one
Your
Guilliman
goofy list.
Yeah, one Guilliman. So all my tanks were rolling failed hits and failed wounds. This is pre-update with the second rule book and everything like that. And it worked. I mean, it was
You remember
competitive.
our streak of games where I just kept bringing Death Guard and you tried out like 5 different armies and they all lost again it, and then you bring that weird. This is how you win with Space Marines.
Yeah.
You bring no Space Marines.
Yeah, I kept trying to figure out how do I make Space Marines work, and I kept bringing troops, and they weren't helping. So I was like, you know what? Let's just get rid of all the troops and bring tanks.
Let's bring Guilliman and then 12 Razorbacks.
That's actually a competitive list. I did the math.
I mean, I could definitely see it being disgusting with old Guilliman.
With old Guilliman.
Old Guilliman,
Yeah, you're talking about
I would literally cry. I would not want to play that game.
12 shots apiece, strength 6, AP -1.
I'm still taking Leviathan Dreadnoughts in my Iron Hands. I just love that model. Model's great.
Oh, it's a gorgeous model.
It's still a good model. There's nothing
it's
wrong
still.
with Leviathan Dreadnought. It's just not super survivable.
The Dark Angels also got the -1 to reducing their damage for their dreadnoughts, like halving damage, not reducing them. It's halving their damage as well.
Yeah, all Space Marines
Yeah,
got
so that was really good because also they got a Leviathan Dreadnought. The what's it called? The one of the guns, the Graviton.
Graflux Bombard.
Yeah, Bombard. It's 24 inches on them on Devastator Doctrine. 24 inches.
Yeah.
From 18 to 24 inches is a big difference,
It is.
especially for that gun.
Yeah.
That thing is a vehicle killer.
That is an
absolute
insane weapon.
Yeah.
The only thing that balances it is 18 inches.
Yep.
If it was anything over 18 inches, you would complain about
I
that.
remember whenever I first started using Death Watch, I would bring one of those things, just teleport it to something near a vehicle, and then that vehicle would just go.
So I mean, like you could still shut down, like say I'm playing against you, Nick,
Right.
And you're bringing your I bring my Leviathan and all my shenanigans for Iron Hands, and you bring your plasma guys. You're like, okay, damage 3 plasma guns. I can still reduce damage by 2 for my Dreadnought Leviathan. So at most you're like, oh, here's all my damage, and it's 1
I don't
damage.
shoot
piece.
plasma guns at your Leviathan.
What?
I don't shoot those. I shoot the robots.
It doesn't matter.
Because they just pee you with mortal wounds so you die. One robot could kill a Leviathan.
If I was playing Black Templars, you couldn't do that.
So, and it doesn't matter if they're reducing damage if you just do mortal wounds to them. I had the same theory. I said just bring Harlequin jet bikes and Haywire at the death.
And now Assault Space Marine armies are going to be better. And they did this in a very tactical time when Space Wolves are coming.
It's true.
They did it. They did that on purpose.
Yeah.
We all. It's like that's just a ploy. We all know it's a ploy because they would not have done this. And they waited. They're like, let's wait. Let's just wait it out, right? And so when they did that first nerf, they're like, we're not going to do it much. We're just going to little drop. See if they want to buy more things or just keep staying with Iron Hands, right? And then they didn't do anything. And like, okay, we'll milk it. We'll milk it all. And then they milked it. And they're like, what's coming out? Space Wolves, right? It's coming out. Hey,
Assault.
next day, FAQ.
Assault.
Hey, you can't be in doctrines for that long, buddy. You got to go. But when you get past the third one, it's staying. Assault. Can't go any past it. Can't go back.
Are coming.
I don't know.
Can't go back.
Yeah, but it's so annoying that you spend 2 turns not doing anything. I think the problem with doctrines is that the fact that they rotate.
Well, it's just I think that's what they want Space Marines to do. They want them to be played to where you have to use every asset that's available to you. They want you to be able to shoot heavy weapons. They want you to be able to use your bolters, and they want you to be in melee. I mean, that's the thing that Space Marines are. They're good at everything, but great at nothing.
Yeah, they're multifaceted army.
Like every
that's the
time that
problem,
I've heard a video where they talk about every single faction, they always be like, "Oh, orcs are great at melee, Tower great at shooting, Space Marines good at everything, great at nothing." Moving on.
I think
That's the problem, though. Why would okay? Let's say I am a Space Marine chapter.
Yeah.
Let's say I am one that's very orientated on melee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would I spend the first half of combat in different doctrines when my specialty is in the melee doctrine?
Hey, Nick, guess what?
Doctrines just don't mix. Like, Grey Knights have tides. They can choose whenever they want to be in whichever tide they want to be. Why are they the only ones that get to do that?
Games Workshop doesn't like melee armies.
Give it a week. It'll get nerfed too. Eventually, they're going to say your tides start rolling. They're going to put a progression list for tides. You start, boom, boom, boom.
Well, in my opinion, it should just be you choose which doctrines go in which order. I think that makes more sense.
You can tell what GW wants to do with Space Marines. They want people to have to move to different styles of gameplay. But that's what GW wants.
Yeah, like even your guys, your army, like Blood Angels, obviously they're really focused on melee.
Yeah.
This doesn't mean that they don't have great shooting options.
Absolutely,
I mean, you still
do.
You have a Ball Predator that's an amazing anti-infantry weapon.
Devastator squads are still good. L Blasters are still good.
L Blasters are still a thing. I mean, there are still, it doesn't matter what chapter I pick and what my specialty is, I still have every option.
Yeah. Well, good at everything, great at nothing.
I just think they should be able to choose which doctrines go in what order. And you get to choose beforehand. And you say, I want to start an assault first, then tactical, then devastator. And then you stay in devastator after that. And you can't go back. And that's more tactical.
I agree. I think you should, if you could choose which doctrine and what order, which turn that they progress by.
That makes more sense.
It makes way more sense.
Yeah, and
yes, it does.
I think it makes more sense.
So I want to risk having devastator for 3 turns in a row.
Yeah, think about the progression of a battle.
Yes.
So we reach the battlefield. Our heavy weapons are firing overhead. Turn 2, we're closer. Our close range weapons, and then by turn 3, we're clashing into each other.
So think about this. So I get that there is a competitive scene. I get that competitive does not care at all about lore. But you still have to think about it that they are trying to imitate a battle. That's how a battle plays out. You shoot from afar, and eventually they're getting into your face. Problem.
You just told me Space Marines are flexible.
Yes.
This is so rigid. Doctrines are rigid.
The only
they're not flexible. Flexibility is the ability to be good at everything at the same time. And doctrines are not flexible.
Your enemy's still afar. You're seeing them, and you're supposed to be able to shoot them from afar. And as they're coming closer,
flexibility.
That is flexibility because you're moving, you're progressing through the normal battle.
The only reason I think it's better, I mean, it should be like that, is because I don't agree with them giving abilities to armies and doctrines when you force them to move to doctrines anyway.
Yeah.
If you do that, then it's like, oh, you can have this play style, but guess what? If everyone knows you have this on this play style, they're just not going to do anything on that turn.
The only reason why that happened is because it got abused.
Well, only Iron Hands abused it. It was only
Iron Hands pretty much ruined it for everybody.
I completely understand that they should have never done this particular nerf. All they had to do was remove the half damage for dreadnoughts and any other. That's it. You remove that, Iron Hands are just like any other army.
Or just make them spend more CP. Like if you're gonna force them to stay in a doctrine, make them spend a CP on the first turn, and then 2 CP the second turn.
I'm just talking about I don't care about the having to keep in it, like the way that they do it. Obviously, I don't agree with y'all saying like, oh, I should be able to start an assault because that's not how about.
I mean, no one's gonna start an assault.
Yeah.
Again, here's the problem. We've talked about how Space Marines are fluid. They do things, and they're a very flexible army, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've been sitting there talking about that point for a good 10 minutes now.
Yeah.
But doctrines are definitely not flexible.
Yeah.
Why? They're not. They are forced to keep moving forward into doctrines. Okay, yeah, sure. A normal progression of a battle is heavy weapons, then tactical, and then melee. But what happens if your enemy is retreating? What happens if your enemies go backwards? They're no longer in reach of you being in tactical doctrine. What do you do then?
When you go to 7th edition and we both roll a dice, and if I roll higher than you, I just kill the rest of your unit.
The reason I don't like the doctrines.
You see what I'm saying though? Doctrines are so rigid.
I don't like doctrines.
I disagree. All your other stuff is still good. You can still bash something.
You really think orcs are going to run away from you? No.
But you think that other armies wouldn't? You think that Imperial Guard is not going to give up space if they're losing? They do.
No, their commissars shoot you in the back of the head if you try and turn around.
Yeah.
It's
tactical retreat. Tactical retreat.
What happens when you're ambushed? Oh, no, sorry. We're only in the heavy doctrine this turn. I'm not flexible.
So what you're saying is that their last cannons doesn't work unless it's in the Devastator or in the Devastator.
Or you can spend 4 CP to stay in one doctrine the entire game. Boom, you fixed the problem.
I agree.
4 CP.
All your CP is staying in one doctrine.
No,
I would do that. I would,
but
Iron Hands would probably spend all their CP.
That's okay though, because then they can't use the CP to reduce the damage on their what's called dreadnoughts. Yeah. They can't use their CP to do
this is a
more damage.
point.
I'm saying like 4 CP. 4 CP is a lot, and they use most of their things on making vehicles, which don't give them a lot of CP in the first place.
I do feel like the internet has moved past this, and we're like there's a dead horse. Let's beat it.
No, 4 CP, 5 CP, 6 CP. Come on,
GW, fix it. No, I'm just kidding. All I know is if you want a Leviathan Dreadnought, eBay is your friend right now.
Oh yeah,
they are going and they're going cheap.
I've got 2.
The problem is like when I want to play Black Templars, I'm like sitting here for 2 turns suffering. It's like I'm sitting here. I ain't never gonna use Devastator Doctrine. It doesn't do nothing for me. I might use Tactical. I might.
Don't you have a ton of
hold
decent weapons?
on.
Decent.
Now hold on. I understand what you're saying, but hear me out.
Okay.
You have Devastator Doctrine, right?
Yeah.
Right? So turn 1, all the nice stuff like your Razorbacks.
Waste my points. Yes.
No,
Waste my points.
Not for Black Templars.
Yeah.
They work. I think they work in every other army but that army.
Why not Black
Because like I told you with the strategy I figured out, that takes way too much points to spend in a certain way you're trying to do the play style.
Yeah, but
and if you're trying to do the play style, you can't support it with small vehicles that do a lot of damage, only to work on 1 turn.
Yeah, but that's one strategy.
No, sure. And
so Razorbacks would be good in every other sense because Razorbacks with twin assault cannons, even not in Devastator Doctrine, are still AP -1.
No, I agree.
They're a really good vehicle. Turn 2, they're not as good because they're only AP -1,
Right.
not AP -2. But turn 1, if you have 3 of those, that's 36 shots at AP -2. That'll definitely thin the chaff so that your Thunderhammers and all your extra weapons are going to get into combat with meteor targets.
They kind of, to be honest, they kind of ruined Black Templars though. And the Blood Angels, they actually did a lot of good things for. They get them a lot of justice. They supported their play style, and I think they're good. The only thing is they have a worse assault doctrine. They have a worse assault doctrine ability than Black Templars.
So
if it was reversed, Blood Angels would be a Space Marine ITC pick that would for melee, like for sure.
So
if it was switch.
What I do, especially like when I play my Blood Angels, I don't even bother with tactical doctrines. I bring guard detachments or an extra detachment of something else. I'm not going to play pure Blood Angels.
That's okay.
Because doctrines aren't that good for that
Exactly.
army.
That's fine.
I'm not worried about getting 1 extra attack
Exactly.
on turn 3.
You don't care. It's like I get 1 more attack on turn 3. Whatever. I'd rather get a better army.
I'd rather have a better army and then just start fighting turn 1 because I can force the issue with several units.
But Black Templars? You're telling me you wouldn't want that? If Blood Angels had that, you would not do that.
But Black Templars work better in the sense that you have really good units that work well inside of Land Raiders. So you can spend your first 2 turns pushing Land Raiders across the table and shooting.
And that's the problem. Land Raiders are too expensive.
What? You're talking about Land Raider Crusader.
Land Raider Crusader are not that expensive.
It's 240, 260.
Yeah, but turn 2, when you're getting into that half range mark and you have 2 Hurricane Bolters at AP -1.
Sure. Yeah. And then the Iron Hands guy with -4 AP gun just guns me down.
But he doesn't have that.
Agreed. I'm going to gun you down.
Or the AdMech guy with the 3 damage plasma gun is going to gun me down. Yeah, I got no invons. A Land Raider should have a 5-up invon.
Yeah, it should.
It should.
I'll give it to you.
Yeah, it should.
Should have a 5-up invon. There's no reason to take that gun because it has no invon. 2-up save doesn't mean nothing if it's getting hit by a 3 damage -4 plasma gun.
Good luck making a 5-up or a 6-up.
Oh, you get a 6-up save.
Isn't it only -3?
Yeah, it's only -3, bro.
Yeah, so you got 5.
Oh, I got a 5-up save. I got 8 of those.
So that's your invul. You got a 5-up invul.
That's literally 200 of its points.
Yeah.
It's 250. Thank you very much.
250.
Just use line of sight blocking train. You're good.
Line of
sight blocking my Land Raider. Well, I agree. Like, I would love that play style if my Land Raiders didn't die.
Yeah.
Turn 1.
Have you thought about just better positioning?
Have I thought about getting 3 Land Raiders in one game? Yes, I have done that. Have they all died turn 2? Yes, that also happened. It does not work.
Yeah, but that works. So turn 2, they've all died. Your guys are out. Turn 3, assault doctor, you're there.
And they all die. And they all die. And see, that's the difference between when they die, they don't take mortal wounds, they're slain.
So I think
so they don't get freebies.
The biggest thing with the change to tactical doctrines is what people are dreading the most is that there are no lists online currently because there haven't been any big events that I know of since they changed the rules. So nobody knows exactly like, oh, what list am I taking from offline? But I mean, it's forcing that everybody has to go out right now and redo their list without any kind of foreknowledge of what is actually currently working.
I mean, this seems to happen every time. They'll change something, people freak out, and the one super competitive list gets destroyed, and now everybody's just trying to scramble out what's the new,
Marines are too
the new thing.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, that's the thing is it's not necessarily that they ruined every chapter. It's that you now have to tweak your list to work around the new doctrine.
I would like the idea.
So
they don't ruin Black Templars. I ain't mad about that. I'm just mad they ruined Dark Angels. They didn't deserve that.
No.
They didn't deserve it. Like,
yeah, they did.
No,
Yeah, they did.
They did not.
It's Dark Angels.
Stop.
Nobody likes
Y'all
Dark
just
Angels.
ripping on Dark Angels.
So now, turn 2, you focus more on your plasma talons that are now AP minus 1.
The army was already so scuffed because everything was way too expensive, and then they made everything cheaper, and then they're like, okay, let's support a playstyle. They did it perfectly. They did it, I won't say perfectly, they did it very well. They set it up. The only thing that they did 2 things wrong. They made a really crappy Primaris captain that no one cared about.
I was going to say...
No, he does not fit in the army.
Psychic Awakening.
He doesn't fit in the army.
Psychic.
Just get him out.
Some random Primaris captain.
They should have just made Ezekiel a Primaris.
Why didn't they do that? That's the dumbest thing. Isn't Ezekiel still in resin?
Yeah.
They didn't make... Well, I mean, but they didn't make a Primaris Space Wolf Psyker.
Najal?
They didn't do that. They didn't make a Weird Boy Primaris name character.
To be honest, if they made Primaris Helbrecht, the game would have been done.
Yeah.
They would have destroyed the game. I would have been bulling every single game, and no one would complain.
Well, his model's still pretty cool.
I mean, look at the Space Marine lineup. They only made 2 of them that were Psychers Primaris size.
Tiggy and...
Tigerius and...
he's overpriced.
Yeah, Memphis.
I think 150 is overpriced, but that's just me. I think 150 is overpriced for him. But if he was Primaris, 1 more attack, 1 more wound, 150, take him every time.
Is that random Dark Angels captain even worth taking at all?
No. It's funny that you even say that. No, he's actually useless. It's like, oh man, he gives everyone a 5-up feel no pain to mortal wounds.
That's pretty good.
No.
That's pretty good.
5-up feel no pain.
No, I'm not spending 125 points for a 5-up feel no pain mortal wounds. You're funny.
That's pretty
good. No. I'm playing Dark Angels.
It's a little bit too situational.
I have a 1 in 36 chance to die from a mortal wound.
Wait,
no, that's not even mortal wounds.
Can you give it to vehicles? Or is it infantry only?
I actually don't know. But I don't think it matters because it's not good enough to put. He's not good enough to put in your army. Dark Angels are too expensive.
All the other Primaris characters are actually pretty worth it. I mean, Big Papa Smurf is actually pretty beasty. The Mephiston is obviously just a beast in general.
Yeah.
Tiggy is really good too.
Tigerius is good, yeah.
He's a better Black Templars model. If it's like, oh, add 1+ to your feels of pain.
What about the Imperial Fist and the Salamanders guy? Are those pretty good? Are they seeing it all play?
I mean, the Salamanders guys is cool and he's really good, but they're very gimmicky. They have to get up into your face, but they can deal a lot of mortal wounds.
Yeah.
They're not bad, just they're not great.
What about that Raven Guard character?
Raven Guard was strong. Shrike. Raven Guard was half the problem. Raven Guard was half the reason they
yeah. Well, it was mostly that one whole get a bunch of what are they called? Oh gosh,
the Assault Centurions.
Assault Centurions right up in your face.
Yeah, turn 1.
How would they do that?
There was some weird stratagem where you
essentially got to do forward. It was something like you got to do forward positioning, like you do with scouts, but with Assault Centurions.
And now they're just doing it with aggressors.
We're sneaking in.
Yeah. So I mean, it was like
plonk, plonk, plonk.
Yeah, just like, oh, by the way.
Yeah, we totally snuck up these giant war machines right in your face.
Hey guys.
Yeah, but I mean that was the thing. I mean that was the if you looked at the top list of like LVO, it was Iron Hands, Raven Guard. Iron Hands. There was some Ultramarines. There was some Eldar and Ultramarines up there, but it was mainly Iron Hands and.
I did see a couple of White Scar stuff though. A couple.
And I don't know.
What? The top 1,000 maybe.
1,000.
Yeah.
God, there were a couple. No, I'm telling you. But anyway,
they would have made it up there somewhere. I mean, Space Marines again were just good.
Just great fire.
Yeah, they were just good in general. Until recently.
So, what do you guys think is going to take the mantle now? What's the top?
Hands. I think it's still pretty good. It's just not as good.
No, I don't think Iron Hands are still going to be at the very top. I think we're going to get a swing back to Craft Worlds or
Black Templars are actually getting better now.
what?
Because of how doctrines work. And since now other Space Marine doctrines are suffering, Assault Doctrine Space Marines are getting better because of that. And
I have a question for Matt.
in my opinion,
I have a question for Matt. What are they called? Centurions?
Salt Centurions?
Are they dreadnoughts?
no.
No.
Why
The
not?
people.
Are they encased in that armor?
No.
No.
So
All right.
Yeah.
The Centurion is literally just this extra suit of armor. So they have a suit and armor on top of their
It's
suit
a
of armor.
mini dreadnought.
So is it a war suit then?
It's a mini.
No.
I'm gonna punch you.
It's like a bigger Terminator.
Yeah.
it's like what's called aggressor. Without the aggressor.
It's a Terminator thick with 3 C's.
3 C's. Thick.
But
Gasco's like 5 C's.
yeah, he's got like 6 or 7 C's.
6 or
He's
7.
like, woo, you thick.
That's a lot.
Also, I don't know how we overlooked this. But you know the Sisters getting their rest of their release this week too? We just totally didn't even
They're getting well, we already knew their rules and everything. Just the actual physical models are coming out.
You know what I'm super excited for to add to the table?
plastic exorcists.
Exorcist.
No, I don't care about that.
Immolators.
I want that stupid piece of terrain.
Oh, yeah.
With the
Terrain?
giant, it's
Oh, the
it's-
angel?
yeah, with the big Celestine.
I don't like that.
I like it.
Oh, we'll take a picture of it for you guys to see. They just noticed this Pinocchio-looking doll in the room.
There's supposed to be a Geppetto at his foot that he's looking at. There's like a peg in there.
I'm actually terrified.
It's been lost.
Yeah, that thing's.
I'm going to bed not happy.
Oh, his nose is growing. I'm just like,
You're scaring me. Stop.
Anyway.
I don't do well with this stuff.
But yeah, that piece of terrain for the tabletop shenanigans studio table. I really want that. I'm gonna put Celestine right in the middle of the table, just like
or that coffin.
No, I don't want
That's
that.
so crazy. There's an actual 13 character model. That's so crazy.
I actually read up on it today. I didn't even know about it. I read up on it. I
You
was
didn't know that was a thing?
like, no, it's like
What?
it's like an 8-bolt pistol.
That's what.
I was like, yo, it's like
Somebody is I've heard the rumor mill going around. I don't know how official it is, but they're talking about 9th edition moving to whole squads on one base. So you have
Oh yeah, we
five-
talked about
That's
that
actually
briefly.
cool.
Yeah.
Five guys on one base, so it'll be like movement wise, the game would move faster, and you get more diorama style bases. It's kind of just
but make us
again,
buy more.
the rumor mill, so don't quote me on that.
Cool, but you have to make me buy more.
No, they said if you have existing models, they'll just provide bases with like the insets. So it would basically like you have a squad of 5 Primaris, and they'll just provide a base that fits your 5 Primaris. And
So Nick, you got a couple minutes.
I don't like
What do you want out of the next AdMech book? What's your wish list? You got 5 minutes. Go.
You don't want to know my wishes.
what character do you think they're going to release with that?
Nothing.
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 No, we've gotten so much love from Blackstone Fortress.
Yeah.
What I really want to see is no more AdMech. I want to see
Chaos AdMech?
yes, because that's what I really want to
Dark
play.
Mechanica.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
Well,
they've
that's
already,
not happening.
It is happening. They've already made models for it.
No.
They've made 2 or 3 models for it.
No.
What I want, honestly, is all the Forge World stuff, because I have all this Forge World Mechanicum stuff at home, just waiting to be used. And
Go play 30K.
no,
Yep.
30K sucks.
Oh. Oof.
Oh no.
That is just, okay, sorry, half of the fan base.
I would
that
play
is
30K.
alienated.
I'm just kidding. I love 30K. I play one game.
Yeah, 30K.
I would play
7th
30K
edition. Woohoo.
if it wasn't $600
I would love
for an army.
to see the next character would be an actual Fabricator General, because even though Call is a Fabricator General,
Yeah, there's not a generic fabricator
Right.
general.
like I get there's only one Fabricator General. I just wish there was more diversity in the line. And I understand AdMech's a new line.
They just produced like a whole bunch. They just give you 3 new models that aren't even out yet.
Yeah, but one of them's a fast tech. That's the second fast tech we have. The other one was a
2
Dragoon.
fast tags.
There's only one. It's technically one box is what I'm talking about.
No,
The
'cause
Dragoon, the Civilian Dragoon, and the other one, they come in the same box.
Yeah, but I'm saying they just released 2 more fast tags. They have the Rough Riders And then they have those winged things.
I think the Rough Riders are going to be heavy support.
No, those things are definitely going to be fast attack. You just see one of them had a taser gun and a pistol. The other one had a rifle.
No, I'm just gonna buy them and then make them guard Rough Riders.
Real Rough Riders.
I ain't upset about
great
that.
idea.
With the new AdMech release, I'm going to shelf my current AdMech, and that's going to be my Imperial AdMech. And then whatever they release next, I'm going to literally build the army as Chaos AdMech. So I'm a little excited for that, but again, we have to wait till the book comes out. I have to see how good they are first.
Would it be possible to make like your own Forge World, like rules, kind of like what they've been doing?
Of course, they're going to do that.
Yeah, I'd be Forge World. Nick Candace's.
Every book so far has had create your own, insert whatever it is here, set. Plan.
Oh, I can't wait till Orcs. Can't wait till Orcs. It's going to be 3 more inches to your Daka guns.
They had create your own craft world and create your own.
Ignore me. I'm a giant troll.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's all the time we got for this week. Thank you so much, guys, for listening and supporting our podcast. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Tabletop Shenanigans. Whatever YouTube link.
Phoenix, please correct it.
Yeah.
The Tabletop Shenanigans. The Tabletop Shenanigans. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook.
And if you would like, please support our Patreon at the Tabletop Shenanigans at patreon.com. Or I think patreon.com comes before that part.
Yeah, patreon.com/ or just go to Patreon and type in the search bar the Tabletop Shenanigans.
Thank you so much, guys, for listening. It's always been a pleasure. We hope to see back from you guys next week.
Hashtag Nick is always wrong.
Shoot us.
Bye.
Shoot us.
Choppa.
Shoot us.
I haven't cut this yet.
We're still rolling?
Yeah, we're still rolling.
Well, folks.
All right, guys. You have a good
Nick still sucks.
Shoot us.